All right, so we are welcome to another episode here at Meet the Property Guy, and we want to do something technical in this episode, uh, based on the entire clamor in the past 3-4 years about the Ibeju-Lekki Epe being the new Lagos. Now we want to um, take a future walk and try to make some prediction about Epe Ibeju-Lekki at least for the next 20 years. So we are looking at how Epe Ibeju-Lekki will look like based on the current market, the current trend, how this location will pan out in the next 20 years, let's say by 2040. All right, so we is a common theme right now that we have the free trade zone. The free trade zone is around here. All the side that you are seeing around the lagoon and after the lagoon are all still part of the free trade zone. And then we have the seaports facing the Atlantic Ocean around here. We have the airport coming up somewhere around here is where we have the airport. So, and we have so many different developments, so many different projects that different investors, local investors, foreign investors have come into this location to position themselves because of the free trade zone, because of the Dangote Refinery, because of the seaport, because of the airport. Alaro City is there, and so many other developments by both our developers here and also developers abroad. Even companies, Andela have gone into Ibeju-Lekki, Julius Berger have gone into Epe, and a lot of different companies are also going into this different location. So we are trying to use these current trends to predict what this location may look like, give it another 20 years. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is what's happening primarily around the airport axis, which is around this Alaro City side, where we have different other projects beside the Alaro City, Eko City by Adron, Tiwa by Israelos, Ituno, both residential and Ituno City, Amen City, Amen Phase 3, Tiara, and so many other developments around that axis. Landmark also have something around the airport road. Like I said before, the airport is coming up around somewhere here. It's just before the Epe Bridge. This Epe Bridge here. So now one thing I want a lot of us to understand about what's happening about this axis is land is already like 20 million there. Some are already selling at 35 million, and then the commercial properties at the axis, some are 65 million, some are 100 million, some are already 50 million. Now, what this is going to mean in 20 years time is that this particular location from Alaro City downward to almost like 35 kilometers after Alaro City towards the airport, this location will strictly be for the higher middle class and the high income earners. All right, so on today's property of the day, we were looking at the Fairmont Green and Smart Estate by Landmark. And since this video is about Ibeju-Lekki and Epe and how this location will be in 15-20 years time, then it's fantastic for us to also tell you about what we have in our portfolio that is a gem. So this property is strategically located, very good title, or a reputable developer, because Landmark has shown over the years that they don't just sell and move on, they sell and develop. So if you are looking at positioning at this location for what's happening around Ibeju-Lekki right now, what's coming to Ibeju-Lekki right now in the next 10-20 years or so, then Fairmont Green and Smart Estate is a very, very good project that I'm going to advise you to go for. Very good title, strategically located here, and this is a project that I can promise you very good return if you are looking just to buy and flip the land here, and also if you are looking at maybe develop residential, commercial, because they also have a commercial open space here also. So this is a project that I can definitely advise you. So if you want to know more about this project and you want us to assess this investment, this location further for you, feel free to reach out to me. Then I'll tell you more about this project. So let's go back into the video. For land that are currently selling right now at 20 million, 30 million, when the airport have not even started. Now try to assume and predict what the price and the value will be when the airport starts. So this place is not for average earners. That's just clear. Is not for average earners, because the land that is currently selling at 20 million, 30 million, give it another 10 years, we don't even know what the value will be at that time. When people start to build on this land also, the rental value that they will be charging on the different 1-bed, 2-bed duplexes, apartments that they built on this land will also be relative on the price they bought the land too, or the price of the land as at that time too. So which means that it's only the high income earners that will be able to afford this location. And presumably everything goes well, the airport is here, then definitely these high income earners will definitely be comfortable to want to stay and to want to pay that rent. Why? It's because this Lekki Expressway, like I said before in one of my videos, is still the only express. It's still the only express right from VI, Ikoyi, that reach this airport axis. Although there are other proposed projects, proposed routes, the eastern Lagos regional road is there, the coastal road is there, but they are still all proposed. So which means that for all the big men, all the people staying around Banana Island, staying around Ikate, staying around Lekki Phase 1, is still this one route everybody are still going to face. So which is very likely that anything from Lakwe downward will be traffic. So a lot of people will be forced to come to this axis to have a second home, a third home, a fourth home, or a fifth home. A lot of them will still comfortably be staying at their Banana Island or stay at the Pinnacle, still stay at their Ikate, but they will definitely have a home around here because they want to avoid the traffic coming from this Lekki Expressway. Now, another reason is the Alaro City is here, a fantastic project by Rendezvous. Rendezvous is not even a Nigerian company, like a multinational company, and they have this big project they are doing in Alaro City, almost the equal size of Victoria Island. Now, this project, the Lagos State government is in joint venture with the Lagos State government. So the Lagos State government is giving them all the platform, all the necessary support needed for them to actually achieve a big project here. They are having high density areas, low density areas. They are having commercial zones there, commercial zones for high rises, commercial zones for factories. It's a well planned, massive project. Looking at the sources of the Lakwe Lakes and Gulf Estate, so far so good by Mixed Africa, then is still arguably confident. I'm still arguably confident that at least to a large extent the Alaro City will also still be a success, particularly if eventually the government still goes on and build the airport here. So with the Alaro City, it still means that more high income earners will also be attracted to come here, and definitely that will also still have a spillover on all the projects behind, beside, opposite, and around the Alaro City. Now, looking at the commercial properties around this axis, those selling at 50 million, those selling at 100 million, those selling at 65 million for 1,000 square meter, is just one thing. In 20 years time, businesses, services, products will be more expensive in this area than any other place, and that's already happening on the island already. A lot of the services that you can do on the mainland for maybe 40,000, you come to the island, they charge you 150,000. A lot of the food items that you can buy on the mainland for maybe 30,000 or 20,000, you come to the island, they charge you 100,000 or 110,000. Still the same products, still the same service, still the same quality. The difference is just that people on the island are charging that because of the audiences on the island, and because of what them too they are paying as rent in the stores and the shops that them too they are using. So if land is already like 100 million, 50 million for commercial, try to imagine what the value of the land will be in 20 years time when the airport is there too. That also translates to how much it will cost for people to rent stores here, and how much people are paying for these stores will also determine what they'll be charging for the services too. So for the people that are also going to be staying here, not only that they'll be paying a high rent, but for every common service, that children is going to school, they go to a lounge to chill, they are shopping, maybe they go for a fashion shopping, a cinemas, is still all going to be like times 5 or times 5 the cost of what they are going to get it elsewhere in Lagos, because of the cost of all these commercial stores and all these commercial spaces. So now it's a two-pronged sword, because you may be looking at it that, does this make sense? One thing about Nigerians generally is that, regardless of what income class or what income charge that a particular product or a particular service is are placing on their item, Nigerians are going to pay. You might argue it, you might not believe it, but Nigerians are, see, at times Nigerians even buy things because others cannot afford it. They just buy it. That's just the basic reason, the only reason why they buy it, because they know that others cannot afford it, so they want to buy it, they want to flaunt it. So that's one thing about us, we like to flaunt. So the market here seems to be exclusive to high income people and the high income class, the higher middle class income class. A lot of people will target these axes for them to flaunt, for them to go to the clubs there and bust a lot of funds to show that they have arrived, for them to rent a house there and then go to social media to flaunt it, and so on and so forth. Now for Epe here, and trying to look at what is already happening around this Alaro city downward towards around the airport, this will definitely spill over to Epe. And for a lot of the middle income people that cannot afford the rent around these axes, Epe is where a lot of them will be forced to. So a lot of the places in Epe that we are telling you to buy right now, maybe around Ketu Epe or around Shala or around Itoikin, these are the places all the middle income people are still going to go to. And we've had an example of this happen before. Around the early 2000s, the people that were buying land in Mowe, buying land in Ibafo, were like the low income, low cadet civil servants. But imagine land in Ibafo, land in Mowe now is like 6 million, 10 million. How many civil servants can afford it? Land in Eleko is like 15 million, 20 million already. How many civil servants can afford it? So that place have already changed. And now the middle income earners that are going there now to buy properties, to buy land, and to buy houses. So the same thing will happen here. A lot of the people that will be working around this airport, a lot of the people that will be working around the businesses around the airport, a lot of people that will also be working around the businesses around the free trade zone, and they can't afford the high income to rent around the Alaro city and the likes. This is where all of them are coming to. Temu, Ketu Epe, Molajoye, Shala, even Poka, even some of them will be going as far as staying around Ilara and so on. While the low income people, definitely a lot of them will be staying most likely around the Ogun State side of Epe. So as we are having the movement of people coming from Mowe, coming from Magboro, and trading the entire Lagos-Ibadan Expressway down to Third Mainland Bridge to come and work at VI, we are also going to be having a lot of people around this Epe, Ijebu Ode, Odelewu, Odulagaye, Ishiwo, Iloti, I don't even know how they pronounce it, coming down this entire road also to come to Lagos, to come around the free trade zone and to come and work. And there are a lot of other proposed routes also that will be connecting Epe to Ibeju-Lekki beyond this route. So there is one road that will be coming and be linking to Odo-Egiri around this lagoon too. So that's to show you what this location might look like. Give it another 20 years in terms of the commercial and in terms of the residential activities there. Now, the proposed Fourth Mainland Bridge will also have an influence in this location too, because the Fourth Mainland Bridge will be coming around this side, will be coming around before the Lagos Business School. That's where the Fourth Mainland Bridge will be coming and be linking Akodo down to this market. Now, this will also means that the airport, the people coming from Akodo now have a choice, or have two choices. They either go to use the MMA Ikeja Airport, or they use the airport here at Epe. And again, the big population, the big workforce and at the Ikorodu also can now come to this part of the island to work, because currently the people at the Ikorodu is only around VI, Lekki Phase 1. A lot of the workforces there are working. They use the jetty to transverse, but with the Fourth Mainland Bridge now, you can now open that workforce to also the market eastward around this side, towards the Lakwe side, towards the Eleko side, towards the free trade zone side. So people can also stay at Agric, stay at Itamaga, and likely be working at Eleko or be working around any of around the seaports and the free trade zone. Now, because of the free trade zone and the seaport, again, a lot of businesses will also move their branches to this axis. Is a must, because there is a seaport there, and the seaport here is even deeper than the one at Apapa, so you can receive heavier vessels. So it means that some people will consider using the seaport here to clear their containers. Either they are bringing in cars, they are bringing in spare parts, they are bringing in furnitures, they are bringing in tiles or construction materials, whatever they are bringing in. So they also want to have an office to handle their shipments. As those shipments are landing or those shipments are being exported, they also want to have an office nearby around this place that can be handling all those containers or all those shipments as they come in or as they go out. So with the presence of more businesses or more companies having like a branch office or their export office or their import office around this axis, it means that more businesses will be there, and there will also be more B2B, business to business. I sell printer, you are selling, I do printing, you are selling papers, you are going to do business. I'm selling cars, you are into clearing and forwarding, you are going to do business. I'm an clearing agent, and then you guys, you are into exportation, you are going to do business. So a lot of B2B are going to happen here, so which is also going to drive in more businesses. More businesses will drive in more workers, and more workers will also hike the needs for accommodation. As I said before, a lot of the people, like the average people, the low income people, that are definitely not going to be staying at this axis because of the cost of real estate at this axis already. All of them will be staying inward Epe or even Ogun State side of Epe. Now, for these locations around the Eluju, around Bugije, around Lakwe, a lot now, the traffic here now will change, because currently a lot of people that stay around Bugije, stay around Lakwe currently, they look for jobs around Songotedo, they look for jobs around Ibama, this way around Chevron. But with the presence in another 20 years time, another 15 years time, that will change, as a lot of them now will now be looking downward to work around the Eleko, around the different businesses, around the different companies that are having their branch offices because of the free trade zone, because of the refinery, because of the seaport, their products, their and their shipments that are coming into the seaport. So it will make a lot of jobs available, and people here will now start looking downward, which means that the traffic here will shift downward. So there will be less people going upward from Eluju, from Eleko towards Lekki. Instead, there will be more people going from Lakwe, Awoyaya downward towards Eleko, because of the jobs, the businesses around the seaport here, and also because of the airport too. People will also be going to visit the airport or even to walk around the airport also. So these are predictions for how this location will pan out in the next 10-20 years. So if there is anything that you want to add, any other, based on your own assessment or understanding of what we predict here, you can also drop a comment. We are definitely going to want to hear your view. I know you guys are very, very smart, intelligent people, so there are also some perspective and some options that you have in mind. Definitely I'll be glad to hear that.